Hey, it's Mikate. Thanks for tuning on in. Today we've got an awesome stream. I'm so looking forward to it. Actually, finally playing the 2.5 update. We held off for a little bit just to avoid some spoilers for anyone else who wanted to get a chance to play. So now we get to go in and do our actual playthrough. And the good news is we can bring Fei Xiao and see how she does and how well this section of the storyline was actually tailored to her as one of our new characters. So, that should be interesting. I'm super excited because last time when we left off, we were in a pretty rough spot. So, things should be very, very interesting there. And I'm excited to see how it all plays out. And I think it should be a good time with everybody involved. But we'll have to see. Either way. Let's get to it without any further ado. And then I will give you sound back as well.
Hi, Club
A
Queen.
short respite, then time for the next fight.
Come on in.
Interesting. Okay.
Seriously? When is this war dance going to start? The Sky Splitter has been hovering there for ages. When can we board and see what's inside?
Is this how long-life species live? Everything proceeds so slowly. The effectiveness of anticipation in my emotional center is at an all-time high. Oh, I need to drink some coolant.
What?
Relax. The Realm Keeping Commission will send boarding notices to all ticket holders. The Gazette said the Sky Splitter will fire a salute before the ceremony starts.
I saw the schedule for the first day of the tournament. Can you believe the Ringmaster accepted 4 challenges? And he's just a kid. So, who are you betting on, Bardo?
Not him in the background turning around to stare at this random, at these random people.
I'm betting on neither. I lost all my credits betting on Roboball games in Taikian. This time, I've decided not to rely on probability games to accomplish my target of getting rich.
War dance. There you are. I heard you and Mr. Dan Heng went to meet the judges, and then a riot broke out in the shackling prison. I was so worried about you. Thank goodness you both made it out safe.
There was a revolt in the shackling prison. Fortunately, we were protected by the guards until the Cloud Knights arrived to rescue us.
Uh-huh.
I was planning to take Miss March and Yoon Lee to Stargazer Navalia to see the Sky Splitter up close, but we stumbled upon a group of suspicious Foxians carrying official identities. They were acting strange, so out of curiosity, we decided to follow them. It turns out they were actually Borisin disguised as Foxians. It seems they infiltrated Stargazer Navalia in order to prepare for Hule's escape, and we foiled their plans by pure chance. I wonder who provided them with those disguises, and how many more Borisin have taken advantage of the war dance to infiltrate the ship.
I mean, it's a fair question. There could be any number of them.
Yeah, I heard them too. But I'm afraid I'll have to disappoint them. I've already reported to General Jing Yuan that I'll give up my role as the Ringmaster.
Really?
The security of the Luofu is more important to me
I
than
guess that
anything
makes
else.
sense.
I need to fulfill my duties as a Cloud Knight Lieutenant before taking on the honor of being a Ringmaster.
Aw. I feel a little bad for you, but also that's a very mature choice to make. Go Yanqing.
Those tourists just want to see some good sword fights. Anyone can participate in this kind of tournament. Doesn't have to be me. The real challenge lies beyond the ring on the Sky Splitter. If we don't capture the fugitives soon, Hule will wreak havoc.
He's not wrong there.
Obviously, there's someone behind the scenes orchestrating this prison break, intending to spread chaos. If we fail to thwart their evil plan, what honor will be left for us to uphold?
I sense espionage incoming here. Who knows? We'll have to see if I'm right or not. But, this feels like an infiltration mission, potentially.
Well said.
Oh?
You may be tiny in stature, but your ambition matches that of the Yao Qing's warriors.
Hello? There she is. There's my girl.
Hey, this has nothing to do with my height.
Yes, I suggested to Yanqing that we find a place to have a decent meal. A hunter must be well fed before the hunt.
You still have a good appetite, even in the face of disaster. You truly are the Merlin's Claw. Please finish the food quickly so we can get to work, General Fei Xiao.
Well, that's not up to me. Dig in. I called you here so you could enjoy the food.
Me? This isn't the time for a leisurely meal, and this is way too much for me.
Oh.
Oh. You'd give me time to enjoy a meal, but not yourself?
Honestly, that tracks. He does seem to be a hard worker to the point of self-neglect.
Ever since you encountered those Borisson spies, you've been so busy that you've hardly eaten anything. You can't defeat Hule on an empty stomach. Take your time. Enjoy the meal and calm yourself.
Hule's whereabouts are still unknown, and they've even taken Mr. Zhao Cho hostage. The longer we wait, the more complicated the situation becomes.
Yeah, but if you don't take care of yourself, bud, you're not gonna get anywhere either.
Zhao Cho always said I'm the most impatient person among the Cloud Knights, and I can't argue with that. So, there's no reason for you to be more anxious than me. I've fought against Borisson abominations for years, and I know their ferocity and cunning well. The Borisson were clearly well prepared for this prison break, and now they are staying in the shadows. They have no reason to rush out into the open. When facing cunning and ferocious prey, the hunter must be more patient, biding their time to seize the golden chance for a decisive blow. Once Hule loses his patience and reveals himself, that's when we'll strike.
But when will that time come?
Like I said, it's only one meal away.
I mean, if I had to guess, during the tournament might just be
General
the
Hua Yan,
time.
the Skyfaring Commission has finished its preparations. Do you have any other instructions?
Representing the consensus between the Merlin's Claw and the Divine Foresight, I'll step in as the temporary commanding officer of the seat of Divine Foresight and oversee the Six Commission's affairs on the Luofu.
What is the situation at the shackling prison?
Hule made a quick escape and even sealed the gates of the prison. As of now, the Cloud Knights have re-established contact with the staff inside. The good news is the two Nameless who were trapped in the shackling prison are safe and sound.
I know I shouldn't use the word great given the current situation, but I'm relieved that she and Don Hung are safe.
We've lost contact with one of the messengers from the Xianzhou Yaoqing. The Borisson have likely taken him hostage.
Huh?
Don't worry, Yuko. Fei Xiao is leading the wolf hunt operation, and you know how capable she is.
I have no doubt about General Fei Xiao's capabilities, General Hua Yan. I'm more concerned about the Wardens. According to the plan, the ceremony will begin in 6 hours. The Sky Splitter will be activated, and all visitors will board the ship to watch the contest.
Yeah, I mean, that's one heck of a planned distraction.
But now, with Hule's whereabouts unknown, everything is filled with uncertainty.
March is right, Grandpa. I heard the escaped prisoner from the shackling prison is beyond formidable. In case anything goes wrong.
So, Yun Li, what do you think we should do?
Well, I believe we should declare martial law and allocate manpower to search for the escaped prisoners. And as for the war dance, it's better to announce an indefinite delay for now.
Your plan sounds solid, but unfortunately, solid plans rarely get a chance to be implemented. I believe there are at least 2 parties who won't accept your approach.
Yeah, unfortunately that's not gonna go over well with several people, I'm sure.
The first are the many travelers who have come all the way here for the war dance. If we declare martial law now, it's like declaring that the Law Fu isn't safe. How do you think the outsiders would react? They'd be terrified, and chaos might ensue.
Right, plus if you do that, you essentially have to lock them all on the planet too, which will only increase the panic. And you're also then shutting down trade, which isn't great either. Of course, you can't really let anyone off, or you risk letting them escape. It's a mess. A right and proper mess.
The second party is the staff of the Xianzhou Law Fu's 6 commissions. They've invested a lot of resources and manpower into organizing the war dance. Suddenly suspending it indefinitely would create numerous challenges for them. But of course, not everyone disagrees with your idea.
Really?
The mastermind behind this incident would fully support your opinion, presumably. Hule's escape and your discovery of Borisin's spies at Stargazer Navalia. Even a child could guess that these events were orchestrated. The fugitive is just one piece in the game. The one controlling the pieces wants to spread chaos and suspicion among the people on the Law Fu. If we declare martial law and postpone the war dance, we'll fall into their trap and instill fear in people even before Hule actually does anything.
So what do we do?
Long story short, I think the answer here is nothing. Temporarily. We have to wait for them to make their first move.
We'll search for the prisoners while maintaining
Essentially.
order on the Law Fu, acting as if nothing has happened.
Yep.
As if nothing has happened? Yan Qing said he'd assist the generals, and now he's nowhere to be found. With the host ringmaster gone, how are we supposed to act like nothing has happened?
That's why I called the 2 of you here.
Master Yun Li, is General Huaiyan asking you to be the ringmaster instead of Yan Qing?
No, that's not the case.
General Huaiyan, are you asking me to take Yan Qing's place as the ringmaster?
You caught on quickly, Miss March. That's exactly what I mean.
Interesting. Okay, let's see where he's going with this. Cause like, realistically, there's no way we win this here. March has had like all of a week of training, basically, maybe. With a sword. Of course, we are operating under video game logic, but... Now, as a distraction, I could see. Because you probably want Yunli actually doing helpful things. She'll probably be busy, so I suppose that makes sense to take someone who kind of knows what they're doing, but not really. Still, though, it's gonna complicate things.
But Miss March is a guest invited by General Jing Yuan, Grandpa.
There's also that.
How can an outsider represent the Lawfu in the ring? It will make the Xianzhou Lawfu a laughingstock.
Dear child, the nameless of the Astral Express are renowned throughout the cosmos. It's an honor to have them participate in the ceremony. Plus, Miss March is a disciple of the little Cloud Knight Lieutenant. How can she be regarded as an outsider? We can't afford to have any problems during the war dance. I'm entrusting you not only with the honor of the ring, but also with the security of the Sky Splitter. Yukong, please explain to them the rest of the arrangements.
Oh.
I am sorry
There's
for our
everybody
improper
else.
management, and I truly appreciate your assistance, General.
There is no need to apologize. We Cloud Knights fight on the battlefield while you judges punish the criminals. We are two sides of the same Cienjo Luofu, and it is my honor to serve the Ten Lords' commission. I've grasped the situation of the prison break. Now tell me more about the current state of the shackling prison.
Borison infiltrated the prison in disguise and released the prisoners, spreading chaos. Among the judges on duty in the 4 divisions, Judge Shui from the detention division was killed and is temporarily unavailable. So, I'm taking over her duties and commanding Arumaton spectral envoys and spiritfarers to quickly restore order in the affected areas.
I, and the 2 behind me, will go deeper into the prison to investigate.
But, General, the situation inside is still chaotic and perilous. Your presence would be...
It's common for Cloud Knight generals to face danger directly. Hule has escaped, and the Yaoqing envoy is being held hostage by the Borison. His fate is unknown. This is a grave matter. Not only did the Merlin's Claw offer no reproach, she decided to go after Hule herself to prevent further calamity. I believe the Luofu owes her something in return for her fervent determination. How did the infiltrators learn about the location where Hule was held? And how did they time their plan just before the Yaoqing messengers were ready to escort him?
You've definitely got a leak.
Finding the answer to these questions shouldn't be too difficult. What truly matters is if we can gather the clues that lead us to the mastermind behind all of this.
Yeah, that really is the big thing, is who is the actual problem here? Because I gotta be honest, I don't really have any suspicions just yet. Necessarily.
I understand, but I'm afraid it won't be an easy task.
For a long time, this hidden force has been pursuing their own goals and undermining the security of the Luofu. Backing down now will only encourage them to further endanger the peace here.
The Ten Lords Commission will support your decision with everything we have, General.
Dan Heng and Ling Sha. I'll need both of you to accompany me on this challenging journey.
Well, it's part of my responsibilities as the Cauldron Master. So, where would you like to start, General?
Let's start with those Borison disguised as Foxians.
My people have already prepared the evidence. According to Lieutenant Yenqing's report, he stumbled upon a few suspicious Foxians at Stargazer Navalia. After following them, he discovered that they were actually Borison in disguise. This is one of the bodies.
Looking at him now, it's hard to imagine how he transformed into a Foxian.
My alchemists detected some complex ingredients in his remains, which might explain how these Borison were able to disguise themselves as Foxians.
Interesting. So they've definitely got outside assistance for sure, which we knew. Probably directly related to abundance and everything like that. Presumably. I suppose we'll have to see.
Simply put, Foxians and Borison share a common ancestry. Although they look completely different now, there isn't much genetic difference between them. This medicine allows Borison to temporarily change their shape into that of Foxians.
Huh. Okay. That's really interesting, actually. So we're talking minor evolutionary difference, which I guess I can see. Very interesting. Guess that's as good an explanation as any.
So, in other words, if they stop taking the medicine, their true form will soon be revealed?
Indeed. This means that these Borson have a steady supply of the medicine within the Lafu.
Right, once again, pointing to either an individual or an organization that's helping them directly. Hello!
The disciples of Sanctus Medicus. Looks like the Alchemy Commission is involved once again. When I was sorting through the prescriptions they use, I came across one called Semblance Reversion Essence. It's designed to help those disciples suppress signs of their Mara-struck forms and maintain their normal appearance. When I compared it to the medicine found in the Borson's body...
I'm doing pretty well, how are you? Yeah. Okay, so that's really interesting. I'm guessing they're pretty darn close to the same, huh?
They're one and the same, aren't they?
The medicinal properties and ingredients may differ, but the principle remains the same.
Okay.
Since ancient times, the Borison have always sought to have more powerful bodies, regarding the Foxians as weaklings. Yet, in order to save their warhead, they were willing to disguise themselves as Foxians. Their determination is quite remarkable.
Yeah, I was able to get Fei Xiao. Nobody else. I'm saving up for Ling Sha, but I was able to get Fei Xiao, and I'm actually running with her. So, I've done a little bit of trials with her. She's fun. She's fun to play.
If these infiltrators rely on the medicine to maintain their disguise, then following this lead in our investigation seems prudent. Please follow me. Here we are. According to the judge, this area is not yet under control, so we should proceed cautiously. I've captured the nature of the medicine in my sensor. By following the medicinal fumes, we should be able to retrace the steps of the disguised Borison.
Okay, so we kind of get a trial of her a little bit here, which is kind of fun. Oh, she's ranged. That's interesting. Oh, you lost the 50-50? No, you got Yenching again? Oh man, I know. Look at her. That is cool. Alright, and then support.
Incense ascends, entwined with ethereal clouds.
That's a pretty animation.
Incense ascends, entwined with ethereal clouds.
She does like a little dance. I love that. Okay, let's see. Will you show me more character information or not? Oh. No, boo. Probably because it's not technically released yet, so. Understandable if a bit annoying. Probably should. Ah, okay. Yeah, I'll have to do that. But I do think we want to not double up there.
The creature in the...
Oh.
Let's save some time. Cut our losses.
This is more or less the exact team I'm likely to play her with, so I'm interested to see how it goes.
Forever triumphant! Victory is inevitable! Show me what you can do. I'll give you 5 seconds. The fearless knows not fear. That won't do.
Yeah.
May the foul stench dissipate quickly.
Yeah, I intend to.
Time to cleanse the filth. Low risk, high reward.
Ooh, that's solid.
Go Numby!
Yeah, it's over already. Fast enough for you?
Her voice lines are so good. such terrible luck. I actually don't have him. I have a bunch of other characters I lost a 50-50 on, but he's the one that I don't have.
Incredible strength. The attacker shattered this warden's bones with a single blow.
Such brute strength is not something an ordinary Borisin possesses. This is likely the work of Hule.
If I may be so bold to ask, is this Borisin truly that formidable?
I have lived a bit longer and engaged in a few more battles than you, Miss Lingshaw. To the Alliance, Borisin have always been the most formidable adversaries. And Hule is a monster feared even among his own kind. With his strength, Hule united numerous Borisin pacts, forming a grand army of abominations of abundance. They constantly push the Alliance's armies into perilous positions. Over 7 centuries ago, I followed my mentor on a campaign against the abominations. And I personally witnessed the devastation on the battlefield after Hule appeared.
Gotcha. So this is a little bit personal for you then, huh? That's interesting.
Even with medicinal pellets that suppress the fear caused by his lupitoxin, countless Cloud Knights succumbed to panic in the face of his murderous aura. They couldn't even raise a hand in resistance. If the former sword champion hadn't immobilized Hule with her Frostblade, the outcome of that fateful battle could have been very different. By the end of the battle, only a few of us remain. The Crimson Moon cast the sheen of blood on all. Everything I saw was painted dark red.
Yeah, we do keep getting references to her here, which is really interesting. Honestly, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't do a rerun of him. Like, a little bit, because it feels like if you were gonna do it, this would be the time. Which I don't know when his last rerun was, but it feels like any of the characters from here would be a good choice, but they just haven't. Right. Locha, like there's no reruns of anyone from here. No, me neither. Like I have not seen his banner. Like we're just redoing the Penacony characters again. Maybe. Although I don't think so. I thought that was gonna be Topaz again. Maybe I'm wrong though. Because I thought she was gonna go with Topaz. Not sure.
If that's the case, why wasn't the beast executed instead of being imprisoned? On the Xianzhou Juming, the judges cast those unforgivable and nearly immortal abominations of abundance into the eternal flames of the stars, reducing them to ashes. Their so-called immortality is just a facade. I mean, nothing can truly defy death, can it? I just don't understand why the Lafu kept this tumor for so long, leading to the terrible situation we're facing now.
You're not wrong about that one. It does seem like a poor choice. Although, presumably they tried some things. Theoretically.
But I guess I understand. The people of the Lafu are known for their kindness. Even when faced with the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, they couldn't bring themselves to cut it out. Instead, they exiled the healer, who tried to solve the problem, to the Xianzhou Juming.
Right, and she had a run not too long ago. Seal? Yeah. Yeah. That one's been a long time. Like, there are so many characters that have been a long time. Like, Topaz has not been a long time. I have her. Which means it has not been that long since she's had a banner. But some of the characters, especially some of the currently featured in this story characters, who haven't rerun in who knows how long, and they're just neglecting them, which feels very weird to me.
I understand if you hold grudges against me, Miss Linshaw. I take the blame for the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus. As for why Hule was only in prison, I can shed some light on that too.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's really helpful, and you get to actually see more characters. Kind of seems like they're not gonna do it consistently, but it is really helpful.
I'm just a healer. I'm not familiar with the past. I'd appreciate it if you could enlighten me, General.
All right. Let me tell you more about it as we go.
Okay. Alright. Let's see what's over
Did
here.
this Cloud Knight also take the medicine?
No, not yet.
No. This is a Borison in disguise. A guard killed him before he could return to his original form.
All these Borison are dressed in official attire. Besides the Cloud Knight, there were also 2 Borison disguised as members of the Skyfaring Commission and the Artisanship Commission. Whoever is providing them with official identities must hold the position of power. Let's search elsewhere.
Yeah, which is very dangerous, because... Oh... Yeah... That does seem unfortunate. I still have to work on that, building that back up. Ooh.
Incense ascends.
Treasure chest.
Let's save some time. Now that's better.
Rude.
That won't do.
That's convenient.
Fangs and claws got dull.
She definitely feels like Gallagher so far, which I'm excited about, because at least half of my problem with all my
yourself
team
in it.
comps is they're based around having Gallagher involved.
Be a pure body and mind.
And when he isn't, it's a problem.
Liquidation!
Exactly. Which, like, is perfect.
The market is
That was
unpredictable.
rude.
Right! Investing in victory means playing the long game! Show me what you can do. I'll give you 5
The
seconds.
truth burns
Yeah.
clear as a flame. Everything
So
in
it
this
really is
world
just an additional overall
is bleeding.
boost.
That won't do. The fearless knows not fear. Too slow.
Yeah.
Go Numby!
So odds are pretty good that I'll be running this team more similar
The
for a
mood is
little
set.
while.
Let the show begin.
At least in partial rotation.
Allow me to purge the root of the problem.
Forever triumphant!
Right. Very true.
Victory is inevitable!
Time to cleanse the filth.
Yeah, I'm excited to
it's
actually be
over
able to
already.
read
Fast
everything.
enough for you?
It's very hard when they do it like this to use the characters effectively. Because you're kind of just guessing at what they do until you get the official A-okay. Because yeah, having a non-heal specific skill is also kind of nice because she has that AoE, which is very helpful. Especially when you're building a break effect character like her. It's very solid. It's kind of one of the reasons why Firefly is so nice.
Someone bit open his arteries and drained almost all of his blood while he was still alive.
Oh.
Such a cruel and ruthless act.
So they're like vampires?
Despite being
Yeah,
a long-lived
right?
species, Borsen are actually more like predatory beasts that must feed on raw blood and flesh. I've heard that Hule was deprived of food and water in the shackling prison.
Okay, so vampires then. Right? I think so. Cause yeah, that is it's very graphic as far as the words go. I think they got away with it because there's not really a visual to go along with it other than this clearly dead guy, I guess. But yeah, that seems like tiptoeing the line a little bit, to be honest.
It's hard to imagine how he managed to suppress his hunger for over 7 centuries. Will the hostage from the Yaoqing be able to avoid being his meal?
Such is the terrible nature of the abominations of abundance. We subjected him to the Forest of Swords to drain his life force. But in the end, his punishment turned into a test of our patience. Just like you said, Miss Lingshaw. Casting a creature that can't be killed into a star would be a way to permanently get rid of it. But unfortunately...
The Foxians didn't agree to that.
Exactly. The atrocities committed by Hule went beyond mere massacres. Throughout numerous wars, we made every effort to eradicate the Borison. But Hule, with his mysterious sorcery, turned countless Foxians into his pawns. And so the Borison kept returning.
Okay, so I want to know more about that, because that's interesting. The way that's phrased, it sounds like rather than being separate, like on an evolutionary level, they're just transformed. Which is interesting.
The Foxians curse his name day and night, and they even use it to scare children into staying quiet. How could they grant a swift death to such a great sinner?
I mean, I guess, but like, we wouldn't be here if we just gone for it, you know?
I wonder if you know why Hule wasn't taken into custody by the Foxian majority Xianzhou Yaoqing, but instead imprisoned in the Xianzhou Luofu, Miss Lingshaw.
As you mentioned, your mentor was an exceptional warrior and was the one who defeated Hule, an extraordinary achievement.
Jingliu again.
Therefore, the Marshal placed this feral beast under the jurisdiction of the Xianzhou Luofu as an honor, I assume?
It seems you have a major misunderstanding about this arrangement, Miss Lingshaw. Allow me to explain it to you.
Okay. Oh. Okay. Interesting. I'm glad that she actually has a little bit of ranged attack. That's one of my biggest issues with characters like Firefly, for example, who don't have that. It is so problematic. Because it's so hard to get close enough unless you're using her skill. Right, exactly. I feel like they do that a lot though. They just like don't give enough power to the really powerful characters. Like, they should be at least towards the top in terms of combat, you would think, but they're just not. Like, they did the same thing with with Zhongli and Genshin. Like, it's just supposed to be like high level top tier character, but just nah.
Yan Qing told me that an IPC ship was attacked by Borison. Is this what they were transporting on the ship?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. The Artisanship Commission and Alchemy Commission conducted a joint examination and found that the parts of this machine are made from specially refined Borison biotissue.
Oh. Yeah, uh-huh. Well, that's not great either, is it?
I heard the Intelligentsia Guild has been researching the biological properties of long-life species, hoping to make medical or combat-related discoveries. However, they haven't dared to cross any lines due to their so-called relationship with the Alliance.
Uh-huh.
Perhaps to those scholars, Borison are no different from lab animals. Maybe the Borison attacked that ship to retaliate against the Intelligentsia Guild for experimenting on them?
I guess that's possible.
No. If it were only about revenge, they could just wreck the ship and destroy all the cargo, instead of allowing it to end up in the shackling prison.
Fair point, I suppose. Could be a little bit of both, though.
It was a deliberate display to showcase the dangerous nature of the cargo in broad daylight. This way, the cargo would end up in the shackling prison, serving as a tool for the prison break.
This skill in exploiting the blind spots of others' mindsets is so atypical of them. I'm afraid the IPC and the Intelligentsia Guild unknowingly became their accomplices.
Right, and whoever's managing to do this knows a lot about enough people that they're able to successfully orchestrate this, which means they've got contacts in high places. Very high places. Or it's a more widespread organization, which is very possible considering we've already talked about Disciples of Sanctus Medicus being involved. However, that all of this points to someone who knows a lot more than they should, and presumably is very high up in the chain of either command or has contact with someone who is. Which probably doesn't bode well for Jing Yuan. Oh?
Watch out! This thing is still alive!
Unfortunate. Oh?
Regenerate even after suffering such severe attacks?
Rude.
Their imitation of long-life species has crossed the line.
Damage sustained.
Be of your body and mind. The truth burns clear. Everything in this world is bleeding. Liquidation!
Detecting damage.
Little unfortunate we haven't gone with our
Take your
main
position.
enemy here being fire weakness oriented.
Steady.
I get the
can
wins,
still
that
move,
makes
it
sense
means
if
it
Fei
wasn't
Xiao's your
damaged
main
enough.
character, but for a character they're
Let's
kind of
make
trying
sure
to
it
trial
never moves
here,
again.
I venture forth to hunt. Forever.
that seems like a poor choice.
Victory is inevitable! Show me what you can do. I'll get. Never hesitate! Too slow.
Not that it's a particular problem here, but again, I wish it showcased her a little bit better.
You haven't answered my question about why Hule was imprisoned in the Lafu instead of the Yao Qing, General. You've been reserved in your response. Could it be that such an arrangement wasn't an honor?
The reason why the Marshal didn't leave Hule on the Yao Qing lies in the very mech in front of us.
Are you suggesting that there are people trying to understand Hule's secrets and use them for their own purposes? Just like with this mech? Well, I understand. I've heard that the Foxians on the Yao Qing share a bloodline with the Borison. And just like the Borison, some of the Foxians there experience an uncontrollable insanity called moon rage. The Marshal believed that this would be inhumane and no different from what the Borison did, so...
Exactly. While Borison see moon rage as a blessing that unlocks their true potential, Foxians see it as an inevitable curse within their bloodline. Countless healers of the Yaoqing have attempted to unravel this mystery, but to no avail.
So, similar vibes to Mara then, sounds like. Which is interesting. Seems like every single species has kind of their own version of that. Or their own version of the drawback. Although this maybe can't be directly traced back, it sounds like. At least they haven't told us it can be.
Why can Borisin control the power of Moonrage? Can we Foxians break free from this curse? These questions were asked frequently. Each questioner had good intentions. But the road to catastrophe is paved with good intentions. To the Foxians of the Yaoqing, Hule was not only the warhead of the Borisin, but also a monster that could be the subject of much research. Hule thus became a poison that corrupted people's minds without their knowing.
That's why the Marshal decided to imprison Hule and the Lafu. It wasn't an honor, but rather a warning.
Because such selfish pursuits in the name of good intentions once led to a tragedy on the Lafu that served as a warning to future generations.
This edition of Imbibitor Lunae.
Oof. Yeah. Yeah, that tracks.
By imprisoning Hule and the Xianzhou Lafu, the Marshal both suppressed the dangerous intentions of the Yaoqing Foxians and warned the Xianzhou Lafu to refrain from repeating its mistake.
That was a necessary trade-off. The Xianzhou alliance is not solely about the Xianzhou natives. Only when all three races, Foxian, Videodora, and Xianzhou natives, form an alliance, will there be a promising future for all.
Thank you for enlightening me. Was it for the same reason that you traded off my mentor to the Xianzhou Zhuming, only to stand idle and allow the resurgence of the disciples of Sanctus Medicus?
Oh! Someone's a little salty. I mean, fair, I guess, but goodness.
You said that I couldn't bear to cut out the malignant tumor within the Alchemy Commission, but instead exiled the healer who tried to solve the problem to the Xianzhou Zhuming. But did your mentor tell you her good intentions led her to perform certain healing arts on Dan Heng, who had just finished his hatching rebirth, so that he would regain the memories of his past life?
Whoa. Whoa. Wait, so she's the one who did that? Because we've been trying to figure that one out for like a while here. That's interesting. Okay, so there's some pretty deep ties here, it looks like.
What did you just say?
Oh! Guess they didn't know either.
She believed that restoring the High Elder's knowledge of his past life would allow the Videodora to resume their duty as the guardians of the Ambrosial Arbor, quelling the strife within their clan and bringing everything back on the right path.
I don't want to say that's true, but it kind of worked, I guess. It didn't solve the problem she wanted it to, but I do think it solved a problem, I suppose. That's really interesting, though. Huh. I wonder if we're ever going to get to actually meet her mentor. Because I'd be curious to know who she is and get a little bit more background there. Although considering she's exiled, technically, that's probably not very likely.
But just as I mentioned earlier, the road to catastrophe is always paved with good intentions. Since then, the 6 charioteers decided that the Alchemy Commission would no longer have a cauldron master. Until your arrival now.
If that's the case, I should thank you for protecting my mentor by exiling her, General.
Quite the contrary. I should be the one thanking you.
Thanking me.
All I ever want is to have a clear conscience. However, can long-life species truly achieve that goal in their long-drawn lives? For example, you were implicated along with your mentor, and forced to leave your homeland without knowing the truth. And now, with the complicated situation in the Alchemy Commission, the Alliance has spared me a lot of trouble by sending you to handle this challenging task. Shouldn't I be thanking you instead?
Your eloquence is indeed impressive, the divine foresight. You won't even leave me any excuses to hold a grudge against you.
The thing is, it's really true. Like, he really just does maneuver things so that even though he definitely has played you a little bit and, like, hasn't told you the full truth and kind of has led you along a little bit, you still can't really hate him for it because it all worked out in the end, or, you know. It is impressive.
But let me make it clear. The Alliance sent me here to handle the business impartially, not to choose sides.
It doesn't matter which side you choose, Miss Lingshaw. At the end of the day, both you and I stand on the side of the Alliance, don't we? Let's keep going.
I'm curious to see if we stand here, will she do her idols? I want to know what they are. Come on. Do it. Oh? Huh. Okay. Yeah, right? That's interesting. That is not what I would have expected from her. I'm wondering if that's what they're gonna keep, or if they're gonna add to it at all. Pre-final release. Because it feels like a little simple. Or maybe she'll get a second one, you never know. That's always possible.
These Mara-struck soldiers don't appear to be escaped prisoners.
No.
How can you tell?
These soldiers are fully armed. Obviously, they didn't hastily join the battle.
The messenger named Morza did say that there were two groups of attackers. The other attackers, aside from the Borison, could hide their tracks. I believe he was referring to these people.
Hide their tracks?
Exactly. I've engaged with these attackers before, and they used Cloud Hymn magic to hide their presence. Without careful observation, no one can detect them.
You once warned me to be cautious of the Vidyadhara Elder's influence within the Alchemy Commission. Could it be?
That's some very ominous smoke happening back there.
What's on your mind, Miss Lingshaw?
And we're just actively ignoring that. Okay, that's good.
Well, it seems that someone provided the attackers with a map of the shackling prison. And considering the Vidyadhara's involvement in the prison's construction, it raises suspicion about their role in this.
Honestly, that's fair. It would potentially be a group I could see. Maybe. They've got a little bit of a grudge, and they've had some issues, I say recently, in the last X hundred years. And considering everything with Bailu versus Don Hong, There's probably some high tensions there.
Additionally,
I would track.
the fact that the Borison need medicine to disguise themselves would suggest that there are still moles within the Alchemy Commission assisting them covertly. Moreover, forging official identities for the undercover Borison would require someone with significant authority. And the presence of assassins capable of using Cloud Hymn magic deepens my suspicion about the Preceptors. But why would the Videotter collude with the Borison and aid in Hule's escape?
Is a good question. But it's also really interesting timing considering that for the first time in a while, Dan Heng is back on the Xianzhou. And suddenly we're mid-crisis again? That feels, to me personally, a little bit manipulative there. We'll have to see. There could be other motives. But we do know they're not quite happy with Bailu. So, could it be something with that? Maybe.
They aim to spread chaos. They believe that only in chaos can they regain their former power and influence.
I suppose that's also a potential possibility. But again, weird that they did it specifically while we were here, other than the fact that just generally a good distraction is provided.
Since this edition of Imbibe de Lune, the once proud dragon race has been powerless, watching their influence wane. Being a native of the Luofu, Miss Ling Sha, I believe you understand the implications.
However, I don't think the Preceptors are the true masterminds. If I'm not mistaken, the one behind all this treachery is the Lord Ravager who exploited the weaknesses within the Luofu and instigated the disciples of Sanctus Medicus, ultimately leading to the Ambrosial Arbor's resurrection. Fentilia.
Okay. Certainly possible, I suppose.
Please remember, General, that everything I've mentioned is mere speculation. We need concrete evidence for a public trial. If you want to interrogate someone within the Videotter's ranks, you'll need irrefutable proof.
Right, which we definitely don't have just yet.
So, what's your plan, Miss Ling Sha?
But hopefully we can get some coming up here.
I'll send an invitation to the Preceptors.
Okay.
An invitation?
To what exactly?
The Preceptors have been inviting me for a personal meeting since my arrival on the Luofu. Now, I'll send them the remains of these Mara-struck soldiers and the route map I found in the prisoner's possession. Then, I'll ask them to meet me at Scale Gorge Waterscape.
Okay. Interesting. I suppose it's possible that if anyone were to be able
I'd like
to
hear
actually
their
play...
explanations.
If anyone were to be able to play at Double Agent, it would be her, considering that her mentor was exiled and that she's new. That could be an interesting angle.
Good idea. If I were to take action, it might alert the true mastermind. I trust you to handle this matter, Miss Ling Sha. The internal affairs of the Videottera should remain under their jurisdiction. And don't worry if things don't go smoothly. Once the wolf hunt operation is over, the hidden truths will come to light.
Speaking of the wolf hunt operation, I'm truly worried about the Yaoqing messenger who was taken hostage. Hule was starving in the shackling prison for centuries. I don't know if the messenger can survive in that wolf's clutches.
No. It doesn't look like a great scenario for him.
May Rainbow's blessing keep him safe.
Oh. Back to Zhou Shao.
As I said, I'm a healer. But my art of healing requires the culinary arts to be truly effective. The magic of my cauldron is its ability to make all kinds of medicines into dishes that patients can eat. When simmered and cooked together, any kind of medicinal herb or ingredient becomes a delightful delicacy.
Delicacy.
But isn't that just one flavor overpowering the others?
Sir, are you having a debate over cooking here? I mean, that tracks, but like also priorities.
Well, you have a point. Let me ask you this. If there's a fussy child who refuses to eat green peppers, what's the best way to make him eat them?
Stuff the kid's mouth with the green peppers and cook him alive in a pot.
Goodness. Honestly, how are they getting away with that considering the rating? Goodness.
You have quite the sense of humor. I've heard that you, Borisin, have lost many of your taste buds during the self-modification process, so you can't experience complex flavors. Only the saltiness of blood and flesh truly awakens your appetite.
Yeah, bro, I don't think he was joking. I really don't.
It's a shame I don't have any green peppers right now. Otherwise, I'd happily stuff them into your mouth and cook you alive in a pot.
Yeah, sir, maybe stop antagonizing the scary wolf man.
I'm just kidding. The answer is quite simple. Chop up the peppers and mix them with minced meat to make meatballs. This way, the flavor of the meat overpowers the taste of the peppers. And even a fussy child can enjoy them.
Can I just boil your tongue in this hot pot? I know you're trying to buy time until someone comes to your rescue.
I mean, he is, but badly.
You said that Jin Liu recently returned to the Luofu, right? Well, she did come back. But, unfortunately, I also found out that she committed serious crimes and was escorted to another Xianzhou ship. Do you really think you can delay our departure by provoking Lord Hulei's desire for revenge with your clever little tongue? You see Borisin as savages who know nothing about the Xianzhou. But in fact, we know all about your tracking tricks. Like the jade abacus you're carrying, and the side cranes in the sky.
Oh. I'm guessing he wasn't expecting that, but we'll see. Mildly displeased, certainly.
The more hope you hold in your heart, the greater your pain will be when death comes. I wonder if you can maintain your composure when I tear your throat open.
Goodness.
His composure is only a temporary effect of the medicine. And it will wear off soon, right?
Lord Hulei.
Oh, you pathetic Foxians. For thousands of years, we were the ones who allowed you to live, and who granted you civilization. But in the end, you chose to betray us for the freedom promised by the Xianzhou people. But it's all right. As long as you catch the scent of your masters, you obediently return to us. No matter how far you run away.
Oh. Oh. Nah, Discord's the way to go, I think. I doubt it'll work, but I think it's our best option here.
Hulei. Have you ever wondered why it took them 7 centuries to come to your rescue?
Oh, maybe it will work.
The Borisin's era has long passed. Did they ever tell you these harsh facts before giving you hope for returning home, Lord Hulei?
Oh. I gotta say, as a character, I really do like him. He doesn't fit my playstyle, but as a character, just purely for the sake of being part of the story, I really do enjoy him.
Now they're being crushed by the Merlin's claw of the Yao Qing. By a Foxian.
Oh.
They're hiding in remote corners of the cosmos, trembling with fear like a wounded beast on its last legs, reaching out desperately for any fake hope of salvation, which in this case is you.
The Merlin's claw of the Yao Qing. A Foxian? Very interesting. Tell me, Moktok, is he speaking the truth?
He isn't lying. That lowly beast was a war slave who ran away from our pack. Cannon fodder, a thief! She stole our power and used her knowledge about us to fight us, using every dirty trick in the book!
Huh. Honestly, that's a pretty cool backstory for her. Interesting. Okay, so she knows. She's got a lot of background then. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that about her.
And she bested you, Moktok. Fairness is but a pathetic excuse for the dead and defeated. Since our great pack has fallen apart, who told you that I was alive? And who sent you here?
I too would like to know that one.
In our darkest hours, it was a prophet of the Master of Immortality, named Mongus, who showed us the way. Her guidance brought us hope.
That's a new name.
This prophet, Mongus, what does she want?
The prophet made this proclamation. The Borisin have been divided for too long, and only your return can unite all the packs, restoring us to our former glory. That's when we learned that you were still alive. It must have been a manifestation of the Master of Immortality!
Oh.
And the prophet told us that the Foxian general of the Yao Qing would take you to her ship during the Lafu's war dance, and that it would be our best chance to infiltrate and free you from your prison. And just as she said, we did it!
Yeah, that's a lot of weirdly specific information. So, definitely an insider. But, interestingly enough, that's a name we don't know. Which I suppose we collectively have just heard the Preceptors referred to as the Preceptors, so that's not really helpful. And also, likely a fake name. But it is something.
That so-called prophet lied to all of you. She just sent you here to die.
But her prophecy has come true. Our warhead is right here, with us!
Uh-huh. And now what are you gonna do?
Once the news about the prison break spreads, the Cloud Knights will close all the ports. You may think you've escaped the prison, but you're just trapped in another cage, known as the Law Fu.
Let me kill this unruly, lowly beast, Lord Hule! I assure you that our star skiffs will soon arrive. Right now, everyone in the Lafu is distracted by the stupid war dance, so this will be the perfect chance to escape. Once you've returned to your territory, your revenge against the Xianzhou ships will be within reach.
Perfect chance to return to my weak and shattered pack at the mercy of a ridiculous false prophet and become a mere puppet in her clutches. Her plan is full of flaws. The only paths she has prepared for you are escape and death.
Well, if you don't agree with those, what are you looking for?
Listen up. A wolf never allows itself to become prey. From now on, You'll follow my orders. Since you are so confident that the Cloud Knights will close the ports, Jiao Chou, I'm now giving you a chance to go and see it for yourself. Go to the ports, come back, and tell me what you saw.
Interesting. That's weird. And a lot of freedom.
Wait, what did you just say?
But my lord!
That is a bad idea. Although, I suppose, if the ports aren't closed, which they probably aren't, considering we're not going under martial law, then he probably is going to feel like he has to come back. That's a risky bet he's making, but I think it's going to work for him, actually.
Would an alpha wolf ever listen to a cub, Moktok?
No, I've never heard anything like that. I wasn't trying to defy your will. I will always unquestioningly follow your orders.
Just a little pre-hunt entertainment. Don't you want to run away? You will come back. Because Foxians like you always obediently return to their masters, no matter how far they run away.
Sounds very threatening. He's gonna go after Fish Shao, isn't he? He definitely is. Oh. Hi there. Well, now we're just... Oh. Okay, this is probably fine.
I can't believe he actually let me go. What game is he playing?
A risky bet that when you see that the ports aren't locked down, you will come running back.
Perhaps I can try to warn the Cloud Knights. No. Perhaps I can just escape.
Oh. Okay. We're definitely being followed then.
Just as I suspected. He's testing me. The Cloud Knights must have been aware of the situation inside the shackling prison for some time. Will General Fei Shao personally lead a squad to capture Hule? For now, I'll do as he asked.
Okay. Well, be careful.
Would you like to board my star skiff? Well, my little star skiff can't accommodate that many. But I have a larger one that will arrive in less than 15 minutes if you need it. So, where would you like to go? We need to hurry wherever we're going. The war dance is about to start. The Skyfaring Commission is prioritizing star skiffs heading to the Sky Splitter.
Tracks. Okay, so these are the warning questions.
Close the ports? Why would they do that?
Uh-huh. Okay. Let's see.
Someone is keeping an eye on me. No, I can't get too far away.
I wondered how far they'd let me go. Alright. Interesting. Okay. So that could be help, potentially. Who are you? Ah.
I'm sorry, but the Realm Keeping Commission Chancery is currently closed. All the officers and officials have been reassigned to assist in the war dance. Hey, although we're short-staffed at the moment, if there's anything I can do to help, please feel free to ask me.
Okay then. So clearly they haven't closed the ports. We don't have a lot of options here considering we're being watched, clearly. Hello? Yeah, I know.
Hey there. I noticed you'd been looking at me for quite a while. Do you need my help?
No.
Understood. Please come to me if you need any help.
We're just gonna be actively suspicious here and hope somebody figures it out, I guess? Oh.
Stop asking. I'm off duty now. Go bother someone else.
What?
Can't you just stop asking? You're not one of us, but I smell a familiar scent on you.
The Warhead sent me here to check on the situation.
No, not at all. Instead, the Skyfaring Commission is clearing routes to prioritize star skiffs heading to the Sky Splitter. This will make our ships more noticeable when we try to escape.
I mean, honestly, it's a pretty clever way of going about it, because they can't close the ports while they're inside a panic. But if they make it so that only certain ships are allowed through, if you go to the wrong spot, that makes sense. It's a solid tactic.
The ports haven't been closed? What is going on?
There's a plan.
Stalling won't help. It's time to confront Hule and see what tricks he's up to.
Yeah. I don't know. Well, I kind of want to see what'll happen if we attempt to go for help. I don't think it would be good since we're clearly being watched. Like, that's not a good idea. At all. Unfortunately. I just got distracted. The jacket option. Who decided that was a good idea? Like, he's got... It's like he cut holes in his sleeves and then... moving on.
You're back, Jiao Cho.
You were closely watching me, weren't you? And if I sought help from anyone, your people would kill them. Was that your plan, Hule?
Oh, exactly as you said. So, have the Cloud Knights closed the ports?
Pretty much exactly the opposite.
No.
They don't want to publicize my escape. I understand. It's no surprise, for fear is more deadly than claws and fangs. especially during a festive time like the war dance. What lurks here is not a group of fugitives, but rather a pack of wolves amidst a flock. My cubs are hungry, ready to feast on flesh and blood, reveling in your fear. Your calm facade will soon crumble. I can tear through it and expose your pathetic bones anytime. There's no escape from me, Jiao Chou. Of course, you can try your luck and believe that your wits will save you. But remember, you're not the only hostage in this city. If you try anything funny, innocent people will die because of you. Now, let's talk about the Foxian general you serve. Moktok says she's here for me, which means she'll be hunting me herself.
True.
Before the hunt begins, I need to know my opponent. You can refuse and play tough, or you can cooperate and save us both some time, healer.
This one's where it gets tricky. I mean, he's kind of got us exactly where we want us. I don't know if it's better to play along. I don't know that he'd believe it if we immediately played along. Oh.
Good. At least you didn't try to draw attention with a scream. That way no one will die in vain. But remember, the next time you refuse me, I'll crush your healing hands, then your knees, then your spine. I'll dismantle you piece by piece, until only your silver tongue remains for you to speak.
Dang. I tell you what, that VA has got menacing down.
Fine. I'll tell you what you want to know about her. But I expect something in return.
What makes you think you're still in a position to negotiate with me?
You can torture me until I talk. Or let's save us both some time. Warhead. Here's the question that's been bothering me. How have you managed to survive and endure centuries of torture? Borison aren't supposed to live that long, or possess such regenerative abilities.
So, is that why the Shenjiao Yaoqing wanted to take me away? Oh, to some, I'm a hostage. But to others, I hold the secrets they desire. I still remember. In the early years of my captivity, the Foxians came and went. They extracted my blood and marrow, trying to unravel the mystery of Moonrage. They wanted to conquer their fear of the Borison and free themselves from their bloodline.
Interesting.
Unfortunately, they failed to uncover the secret. So, they resorted to the most brutal punishments they could imagine. Some seek power to destroy their enemies, while others seek power to become their enemies. Which one are you, Jiao Chou? Ah, I see. You're the most pitiful of them all, healer of the Yao Qing. You seek power to share it with others. Well, then let me tell you the answer you seek. In our ancient legends, Duran, the ancestor of the Borisin, was dissatisfied with his limited lifespan and power. He yearned to dominate the skies and become the master of all the stars.
Right. And then he did something dumb.
To achieve his goal, he sacrificed the lives of countless Borisin and Foxians, pouring them into the spring bestowed by the Master of Immortality. Through a form of genetic sorcery, the water gave birth to a miracle. The lunar embryo. Duran ascended the birthing bed and obtained what he desired. A heart in the shape of a deep red full moon. He cut open his chest and replaced his original heart with this crimson moon. Laugh all you want, but only I know the truth behind every word. This moon heart beats within the body of every generation of the Borisin warhead. In the ritual that decides the new warhead, the successor cuts open the previous warhead's chest and consumes the divine heart, thus possessing it as their own.
Well, that's the mythology right there. I mean, it's kind of poetic in its own way, I suppose. They're like living on in a certain way, but it's a bit gruesome.
Devouring is the true essence of life, allowing us to endure and thrive. It gathers the life essence of all the prey we consume, making us stronger and stronger. I thought all hope was lost after 7 centuries of torment. But now, this heart is beating once again. All right. Now it's your turn to tell me everything about the Merlin's Claw.
Jiao Cho, I found you.
Hey, there you are. I was wondering when someone was gonna show up. It's not as if we've been particularly subtle.
I know I'm in no position to question your orders, but if I understand correctly, you already have intelligence about the Borisin?
That's right. My people are busy collecting clues now. What's the situation, Wadza?
General, before we completely lost contact with Jiao Cho, I picked up a signal from his Jade Abacus. It won't take long before we locate their whereabouts.
If that's the case, shouldn't we immediately go there and join forces to eliminate the Borisin? Why are we returning to Stargazer Navalia?
Looks like your general has only taught you swordplay, not the art of the hunt.
I mean, a little bit. It's fair. It's a fair assessment, probably.
There's an old saying among the Borisin. In the forest, the hunter may easily become the hunted. While we may call ourselves the hunters now, chasing them blindly will only make us become the prey.
Are you joking, General? He's just a wolf who's been imprisoned for 7 centuries. Even with his accomplices, they're no match for us numerous Lawfu Cloud Knights. How could he consider us his prey?
Well, he could. Just because you would immediately jump to facing him head on doesn't mean he has to face you head on. He starts picking people off in between the panic that's going to arise from that. It ain't going to be good.
Do not underestimate the enemy. Hule is not an ordinary Borson that can be easily killed. The advantage in numbers means nothing when we face that monster. A vicious beast who hasn't tasted blood and flesh in 7 centuries is now lurking on the streets of the Lafu right before the war dance. This is what makes the situation treacherous and unpredictable.
To him, the lives of ordinary people are just meat, ready to be devoured at any moment.
Precisely.
Exactly. That is why we must succeed in our first strike, or the situation will spiral out of control. You've heard of this military tactic, right? When you surround your enemy, leave one side open for them to escape. A skilled hunter must be well prepared, waiting for the prey at the most advantageous position.
So, yeah. Where do we think they're gonna go?
What would we do if we were the escapees from the shackling prison? While we can disguise ourselves and blend in with the crowd, we don't plan on staying here for long. In this case, what do we need most now?
Ship on the way out? And supplies, potentially?
A star skiff to get us out of the Lafu. The Borison we discovered at Stargazer Navalia were actually preparing a vessel for their escape.
We predict their next move, and we take them down. Let's start from where you found those Borison and corner our prey.
Okay. Very interesting.
Let's save some time.
Oh.
This is where we ran into the Borison last time. It looks the same as usual.
Because I blocked all the relevant news to make it seem as if nothing had happened.
Interesting.
Losing contact with their accomplices preparing the star skiff will surely put them on guard. However, the more well-prepared a plan is, the longer it takes to adjust when it's disrupted. If any Borson wants to stick to the original plan despite the risks, they'll surely come back to Stargazer Navalia to check the situation.
Right. But more than likely, they're not gonna do that.
Are you suggesting that there are Borison here at Stargazer Navalia right now?
Oh, odds are pretty good, considering they can disguise themselves.
This is an automated area. So don't you think that there are a bit too many people here today? First, look at those 2 Skyfaring Commission staff members. They've been observing us in secret since we arrived here. Then there's a Cloud Knight soldier over there. Perhaps he's here for patrol, but each patrol team must consist of 2 members. And obviously, he is not following the rules. Lastly, there's that craftsman wearing Artisanship Commission clothing. He's unusually focused on checking that device. If you have a target in mind, let's go investigate.
Well, the Foxians are immediately more suspicious in my mind. Just considering that we know their ability is to shapeshift into them specifically. I'm slightly less suspicious of the Cloud Knight.
Hey, you there! Please refrain from wandering around Stargazer Navalia if you're not... Oh, it's you, Lieutenant Yenching.
Okay, that was some immediate recognition. So that, in my mind, makes him a little less suspicious, because he's someone who's very well familiar with the area, in that case. At least familiar enough to know who Yanqing is. by sight, which outsiders, as evidenced before, don't necessarily know. So...
I'm an official staff member assigned to investigate a peculiar issue.
A peculiar issue?
Yeah, we've had some unscheduled star skiffs being constructed at this dock in Stargazer Navalia. Could there have been an error in the production planning for the assembly line? This is just weird. I thought all the pending star skiffs from before the war dance had been scheduled already.
Okay. Yeah. He sounds like he knows what he's talking
but I
about.
need to focus on my work right now. If you have any questions, we can discuss them later.
Alright. Suspicions lowered a little bit. In which case, we'll go try these two.
Who are you? Don't you know that Stargazer Navalia is on lockdown now?
Hey, chill out. They're just a few lost tourists.
Right. Okay. Lost tourists. Interesting. That screams outsider immediately, the lack of recognition considering the two individuals we have with us here.
But Stargazer Navalia is the shipbuilding port of the Cienjo Lafu. If the Skyfaring Commission called for a lockdown, there should be official documents proving it, right?
Official documents? Of course there are. The Cloud Knights are aware that some people have infiltrated this port.
That makes perfect sense. So you're now investigating the Borison?
Yeah, we've received orders from the higher-ups, so we've blocked off this area to prevent any interference with our inspection. Thank you for your understanding.
Okay. That was weird.
Lieutenant Yenxing and General Feixiao?
You're aware of the Borison prison break, right?
Yeah, I've received the news, and I'll be on the alert.
Looks like you've been keeping an eye on the Sky Splitter. Have you noticed anything unusual?
No, everything is normal on the ship. Nothing out of the ordinary.
This is not a location for a Cloud Knight on guard duty, is it?
Well, this spot offers a great view. Are you here to keep an eye on the Sky Splitter?
Don't provide him his own answers, sir.
Yes.
You've been observing the Sky Splitter for a while. Have you noticed anything?
Honestly, just watching the ship from here isn't too thrilling. I wish I could go on board and witness Lieutenant Yenxing's contests. Speaking of which, Lieutenant Yenxing, aren't you supposed to be on the Sky Splitter? Is it alright for you to be here instead?
Thank you for your concern, but I have more pressing matters to attend to.
So, it seems that some Borison have returned to Stargazer Navalia in disguise. The answer seems quite obvious.
That's my suspicion as well.
Remember when I mentioned that the Cloud Knights blocked all relevant news to make it seem as if nothing happened? Stargazer Navalia is not under lockdown.
But on the contrary, those staff members use Stargazer Navalia is on lockdown as an excuse to persuade us to leave. This contradicts the Cloud Knights' plans.
And they didn't really know who you were. It was just generally very suspicious.
Their flimsy disguise has been exposed. Even if they try to hide, there's no way they can escape us.
Why are you still here? As I said, Stargazer Navalia is on lockdown now.
No, I never issued such an order.
Who are you?
Yeah, very suspicious.
Perhaps you haven't met me on the battlefield, but I am certain you've heard my name. Now I'm asking you a question, so answer me. Tell me, how many more of your comrades are here? Where were you planning to meet Hule?
This woman, she's the general of the Yaoxing. What are you still waiting for? Attack her!
Nice like a good brew, my friends. Indulge yourselves!
The fearless knows not fear. That won't do.
Let the
I
valuation
venture
begin.
forth to hunt.
Go with here.
Forever triumphant!
And at the very least, if not fully kill him, which honestly we should fully kill here.
Victory is inevitable!
He's a normal enemy. We can get that.
Liquidation!
Belly down.
Too slow.
Nice hit.
Rhythm get messed up. Let's improvise.
Never hesitate! That won't do.
Run! Tell Lord Moktok about this!
Oh, that's not good.
Why don't you kill me?
Because I need answers.
You were our war slave, so you should know us descendants of Duran. You want me to talk? Fine. Try whatever you want, but I assure you, you won't get anything from me. Only fangs and blood.
If I were to do that, I wouldn't be any different from you. I am the arrow that pierces the wolf's heart. I grant you a swift death.
That's exactly what I desire. Wolves that leave the pack are prepared for the fate of never returning home. But sadly, you didn't catch my partner. He will alert them.
Before you close your eyes, you should know that I allowed him to escape. Because he will lead the Cloud Knights to Hule's hideout.
Is this how you leave one side open? You let that Borison escape so you could track him?
We don't need to track him. We already know where he's going.
This is the most common hunting tactic used by Borison. I know the methods of these abominations all too well. They always leave an escape route for their prey, allowing them to flee in fear. Then they chase them like it's a game. Borison get great satisfaction from the last struggles of their victims.
Have you witnessed these things firsthand? That guy called you a war slave. What exactly have you experienced?
Well, just a hazy past that I can barely recollect. Long ago, I was one of them. Not all Foxians are lucky enough to be born on a Xianzhou ship. I grew up in one of the worlds where Borison roam, known as the Fallen Territories by the people of the Yaoqing. To the Wolf Masters, Foxians are nothing but property. Cannon fodder used to slow down the Xianzhou attacks on the battlefield.
Oh, man.
But you survived. And not only that, you became the general of the Yaoqing. If I get the chance, I'd love to hear stories of your past, General.
Speaking of stories, you've reminded me that now is not the time for them. Wadza, we've sent the warning from Stargazer Navalia. What's the situation on your end?
I've found them. Zhao Cho is trying to stall Hule, and he signaled me to not reveal myself.
Trust his judgment and keep watching. We'll be right there.
I believe the warning we sent will stop Hule from attacking Stargazer Navalia. What will he do next?
The hunt is not over yet. Stay safe, Zhao Cho.
Please, save me.
I want to live. Doctor!
Zhao Shou, find a medical ingenium and give that kid a shot! Hurry!
I see. How is the front line?
The Borison Beast chips have already landed on the Fenghu. It won't be long before this place is overrun as well.
What about General Yueyu? Any news from her? I'm her healer. I should stay by her side at a time like this.
She asked me to tell you that she's not coming back. She must protect the Cloud Pier telescope. General asks you to save that kid. The girl fought desperately just to bring us all back here alive. I've never seen such a brutal fighting style. Her body, it's like she was split open. Just like...
Her blood pressure is dropping. Do you hear me, Zhao Shou?
Loud and clear. Get me some tumble dust. We've got to start the operation right now. I will bring her back.
Is that why you're so determined to learn my secrets? Do you hear me, Zhao Cho?
I do. Loud and clear.
So she saved you all in that great battle on the Xiangzhou Fenghu 3 decades ago. But to your surprise, you discovered her Borison bloodline while she was at death's door. Moktok told me that she was a war slave who escaped from the Eclipse Pack. Oh, what a twist of fate. Turns out, she's from the same clan as I am.
Now I understand. No wonder she displayed such astounding power, determination, and cruelty in battle. Turns out it's all because of her Borison bloodline. Mutt. Despicable Mutt.
And she used the gift of her bloodline to destroy the Borison. Moon Rage, a blessing for wolves, and a curse for foxes. For Borison, to have their bodies torn apart by Moon Rage and transform into a beast is the ultimate joy. But for you Foxians with poor regenerative abilities, it means certain death. Oh, with the burning fury in her heart, that Foxian general will eventually lose her sanity and indulge in endless bloodshed. The scars on her body will not be caused by enemy weapons, but by the immense power she can't withstand. One day, she will be torn apart and die as a monster.
Oh man. I mean, that tracks, but like, girl has got one of the most metal backstories, I gotta say. That is crazy.
And in return for saving her life, you intend to give everything to solve this impossible puzzle.
Hule. Do you know the saddest thing about being a healer? All this time, I've devoted my life to bringing back those who sacrificed their lives to monsters like you. I exhausted myself, and my hands trembled. But I believed everything I did was meaningful. But once again, they rushed into battle. And then I heard of their deaths. They died under your claws. in your jaws. Amidst the flames of crashing star skiffs. And under the Lux arrow of rainbow, like a useless idiot, I saved a fish named Life out of the cauldron called Death, only to watch it struggle, dive back into the boiling broth. So I asked myself, why were they so eager to run toward their death after they had recovered from their wounds? Why wouldn't they value their hard-won life? All the doubts left me feeling lost.
I can smell your desperation, all the way down to your bone marrow.
Eventually, I realized that their deaths held value. They placed the weight of their sacrifice on the living, granting us strength. With a coin forged by their deaths, they exchanged something more in return. Everything I'm doing now, following you so closely, is just for one reason. Witnessing your death with my own two eyes. Even your death has value. It will pave the way for a peaceful war dance. And a fully cured Fei Shao.
The thoughts in your pathetic head are hardly surprising.
Did you already know this?
Yes, I did. As Borisin, we understand the value of death more than anyone. And as a healer who has witnessed so much death, you won't be swayed by fear. Oh, what a shame, what a shame. Your story actually sparked a trace of respect for you in my heart.
Be careful here, Josho.
Can you even feel respect with your corrupted heart?
Of course. Because I caught a whiff of my own kind in you. Unfortunately, in the end, you're still just a weak fox. As the wolf's creed goes, gift the wolf a dead end where new paths arise. Raise him to a doomed fate where satiation lies. The cowards in forgotten corners meet their unworthy demise. Yet the valorous in brutal battles embrace their eternal prize. That's why I'm keeping you alive for now. I want to show you how Borisin truly respect their enemies. We will consume your flesh and blood, nourishing our own. We will crush your hopes and dreams, clearing a path for our hunt. Your feeble souls will witness a new future. A future that belongs to me.
My lord, we received a message. Our arrangement at Stargazer Navalia has been discovered. We must act quickly.
Now we get to see what they do when provoked.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
No, it shouldn't.
Moktok, what's that noise?
Uh-oh.
It's the Sky Splitter. The ship that the Wardens will be held on is about to set off. The Skyfaring Commission will clear the air routes. And if our star skiffs try to escape, we'll be spotted.
Calm down, Moktok. Look at you now, hiding and fearful. Where is your Borisin dignity?
Yeah, I don't think he has a lot of that. He seems a very panicky sort of person.
As I said, I'd sacrifice my dignity for your return. As long as you can come back to the Borisin Pax, There's still hope.
Hope? The Borisin have forgotten the wolf's creed. Weak creatures put their hope in the strong, but the strong fight their way out. Bringing me back instead of choosing a new master only proves the decline of our pack. And as for the prophet who manipulated you into saving me, she's just a liar, trying to use Duran's offspring. Mock talk. Let me tell you how the Borisin will rise to power. We won't hide like rats in the streets of the Xiangzhou. We will be ravenous wolves, walking amongst a herd of lambs with our fangs bared.
They're gonna go hunting, aren't they?
But Great Warhead, our packs are not here. We can't go to war like this.
Our packs are not here. Wherever I go, everyone is the pack.
Stay away. Just don't come any closer. No!
That is not good.
Mock talk. We're the apex predators at the top of the hierarchy. As wolves, we create fear. We don't become servants to it. If you're blind to the path, I will be the crimson moon that lights the way for you. Share my crimson blood with our brethren. Use it to infect those Foxians and strike fear into their hearts. Now, you devious monkey, come out and face me.
Chow Chow. Melissa. Run.
No, he can't run, and neither can you. You've come at the right time, monkey of the Yaoqing. Tell your general, tell her that I will unleash a massacre here, drowning the Xiangzhou La Fu in blood. From this moment on, wolves bearing my blood will hunt on every street, feasting on the followers of that devilish archer. Follow me, my cubs. We shall stride among the prey. Give the wolf a dead end when new paths arise. Raise him to a doomed fate where satiation lies. The cowards in forgotten corners meet their unworthy demise. Yet the valorous in brutal battles embrace their eternal prize.
That's not good.
Do you hear that? The rumble of the cannons. It brings back all the memories of past battles within me. My return will bring back the Wolf's Creed. In my own way, I shall save our weakened pack and restore it to its former glory!
The Sky Splitter's gun salute is really loud. So this is what the war dance is actually like? I feel like my eardrums are going to burst.
Well, how could they expect to attract people to come and watch if they didn't make a huge spectacle? March, you haven't forgotten what you came to do, have you? That was the mission my grandfather entrusted to me. You just relax and keep guard over the ring. As the saying goes, the disciple takes the toil of their master. Remember, you are here under the identity of a Lawfu Swordmaster. taking the place of your no-good Master Yenqing as the ringmaster.
Y'all still at each other's throats a little bit.
But what am I supposed to do if my opponent for this round is super talented and just wipes the floor with me in seconds? I'm still a beginner in swordplay. I don't know where I got the confidence when I agreed to help General Huaiyan.
Come on, there's no need to worry about that. If you are defeated, then your opponent shall have to answer to me. Although, if that happens, the honor and the glory of the Xianzhou Luofu shall all be taken by the Juming.
Master Yunli, please, I'm about to compete. Can you say something that will give me a little confidence?
March, think about the great storms that you, nameless of the Express, have weathered along your many journeys. There's no doubt that you have faced far more terrifying enemies than your opponents here today, right? Don't you feel a lot more relaxed looking at it that way?
I've trained hard in the art of swordplay over these few days. It's time for me to get in the ring and prove myself. Let's go! Master Yunli, I don't think I'm completely ready.
March, there is no such thing as completely ready.
Alright. Well, I think that's gonna have to end up being our pause point for tonight, considering the timing. So, with that in mind, thank you so much for watching.
A short respite, then time for the next fight.
You will be able to catch me finishing up the rest of this story on Thursday evening, 6 p.m. EDT, same time. Going essentially as far as we get through. Once again, thanks so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. If you're interested, you can check out the Discord or my YouTube channel from the link in my bio. And I post a bunch of videos there. So extra content as well as all my old streams are there. You can find them. And then Discord, I do stream announcements as well. So either way, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. I hope you have an awesome evening or morning or whatever time it is for you. Have a good one.